system is full of traps and tricky deadlines. Call us right now. It's just that easy.
Call 265-1100.
Julia, this whole taking a break thing of yours, it's genius! Bring your car to Budget Brakes and give your budget a break! You get it?
It's not exactly what I had in mind, but...
Visit budgetbrakes.com. Brakes starting at just $100.
Okay, we're heading into a time of year where a lot of us are going to have some extra food around the house, from the Halloween candy to the holiday season that follows. It's kind of a caloric intake time of year. And for a lot of people, that quickly turns to, how do I lose some weight? So Ed Jones, Cady Kuhlman are on the show this morning with Nutrition World, and that's what's on their minds this morning. So good to see you.
Good morning, Julie.
So, I mean, that's kind of we could talk about how do I lose weight every day, all day, right? That's always on people's minds, but it's on your mind, Ed, because you're a little bit concerned about some, I guess, trends that you think you're seeing.
Absolutely, Julie. And you know, for my whole life, for 44 years of this career, I have not just been about nutrition. I've been about evaluating every component of decisions and lifestyle, because some of these are healthy and some are not. And I want to talk about the new drug, and can a herb replace that drug? It's Ozempic or semaglutide or Wegovy. These are the drugs that are now so popular in the marketplace, and they were used for diabetics, but now they've kind of went over the line to use for weight loss. How do they work? They work by making your insulin more active and sensitive. We all remember being 19 years old. We could eat anything we want. If you gained 5 pounds, all you had to do is one day you would not have to eat. Why is that? Because the insulin was so powerful and so efficient. We'd lose that at 30 years old. We don't have to. We help people to not do that, but most people do lose it. That means weight's going to come on. Well, these drugs are making insulin work so efficiently that it's like you're 19 temporarily. Are they terrible for everybody? No, they're not. Terribly obese people who have lack of insulin, it may be worthwhile to do this drug. But it's going to slow transit time of food. That's one reason you don't, or you're not as hungry. So part of it's that. But there's some risk involved. One is the black box warning of thyroid cancer. Secondly, some gut issues. And thirdly, pancreatitis. But the big one to me is lack. People who they study, they burn muscle along with the fat. That's a concern for long term. Short term may be okay.
Why? Why is that a concern for long term?
The number one risk factor for long term mortality is loss of muscle tissue past 50 years old. It's the number one reason that we die early, because everything, when we lose our muscle tissue, we lose stability. We lose the ability to function in life. We fall, we hurt, we break, because we don't have these muscles anymore.
That's why they tell women as they age to make sure they do weight training to ward off osteoporosis.
Right.
Am I right? Okay.
And on the social media platforms, from TikTok to all these, tens of thousands of people are saying the herb berberine can replace these drugs. I know this is going to be odd because I run and own Nutrition World, and Cady does too. It doesn't replace that drug, but it has a place in that same conversation to help insulin to be healthier, but it will not replace the drug. And on the drug, if you want to really pursue it, you have to find the right practitioner who understands the risk, and Optimize You is the one clinic that we recommend the most for that.
Okay, before I run to you, Cady, or throw to you, let me just pause 1 second, because this is something I have my own thoughts on maybe, but I don't pretend that I know anything. I think I know that the Ozempics out there, those brands, are highly expensive.
Highly expensive.
So that if you're somebody who does kind of wish that you could utilize it, but you can't afford it, does that also enter these products in?
Yeah, so great question. So what Ed was speaking about with Ozempic is we're looking at the blood sugar system, and we're looking at insulin. And so insulin, you know, when you're 19, and he mentioned you could eat a piece of toast and your body's only going to secrete just enough insulin to break that down and utilize it in the body. When you're 30, 40, and 50 and things aren't working properly, your body's shooting out way too much insulin. Insulin's a growth factor. The body then grows from something that it shouldn't be growing from because it shouldn't have secreted so much insulin. So what berberine does is it goes in and it makes your body more insulin sensitive. So Ozempic does that as well. But berberine, this is kind of nature's pharmacy. This is nature's medicine, and that's why we love it. Berberine comes from different plants. It comes from golden seal, it comes from a little bit in turmeric actually. There's about 5 different plants that contain berberine. So berberine is actually an alkaloid, meaning like a chemical from plants. It's a very safe chemical because, you know, plants do contain their own little chemicals, but it has been heavily studied. So PubMed is a website that a lot of medical professionals use to look at, you know, the studies within different subjects. And so there's 7,600 studies on berberine.
How do you use it?
Yeah, totally. So you're going to use 500 milligrams, ideally 2 to 3 times a day, so before your meals.
Okay.
And again, we always say check with the doctor if you have serious health conditions we don't want to treat or diagnose. But to go in and really look at how can we optimize that person's insulin, the beautiful side effects of this is when someone's insulin is more properly utilized, they will be a little less hungry, they'll have a little bit less carb cravings, and then in essence, they're going to have potentially a little bit of weight loss because they are utilizing their insulin again.
Okay, with a couple of minutes left, a lot of people as we get older begin to say, oh, I can't possibly eat carbs, they're bad for me, right? So if you begin to take the berberine, should you still try to kind of live that way, or should you try to live a little bit more balanced now?
I'm a huge proponent of, we actually have to be more restrictive as we age, just because Father Time is cruel to our chemistry. I live on 60 carbs Monday through Friday and 150 on Saturday and Sunday. I've done every diet on earth. You know, you've known me forever. I'm the guinea pig. That diet works for me. Some people it may be 100 carbs Monday through Friday, but you have to reduce especially simple carbs or you will age less gracefully and start to fall apart quicker. Regardless of whether you take this or not, the knife and fork is still the most powerful weapon that we have, and berberine will add on to that. I have to take my supplements because I'm 66 and I am not what I was at 46 or 26. And the Nature's Pharmacy has such a great record of safety, and if you get a good brand. And again, Amazon continues to be caught with counterfeit products. Get it from your local store. If you don't come to us, just find somebody you trust, not Amazon.
Okay, you have 4 things here. I have like a minute left. Is it just 4 different types of
It is, so
berberine?
just different companies that are making really high quality berberine. So you
Okay.
could choose any of these.
You
We're
said
just
something
showcasing
that if you can possibly sum it up, try to. But what I heard you say was that the berberine can do the various things it does, but it might help with weight loss. So you're not promising that.
Exactly.
It
Yep.
helps with insulin stability. That is, in the big picture, how this drug is like hijacking the body to make insulin work. We're helping to tease the body into a better homeostasis, a better balance, so we can do what it used to do a couple decades ago if we can make that happen. Again, exercise and the right foods are important.
If you're somebody who's 50 and that metabolism is about to start doing its thing, should you just make a preemptive strike and take it?
Hey, you can do it. The risk is so minimal, and you can watch, you can see. People can tell you, your scale will tell you, and your craving for carbohydrates will tell you. So be your own guinea pig.
Okay. Here's where you'll find them. You know where to find them. Nutrition World on Lee Highway. Do you still do the letter on the blog letter on your website?
NutritionW.com? Yes.
Do you still do it?
Yeah.
So when you go on nutritionw.com, I mean, Ed he just spills out what he knows, and he can do it on the written word, and that way you can access it whenever you want. 892-4085 is their phone number, and I'm pretty sure that if you were to pop in the store today or this weekend, the folks there at the front will know what they've talked about today. So if you forget the word berberine, they will know it.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Technology has greatly changed the world we live in. Unfortunately, though, we see the unintended consequences caused by cell phones on a daily basis. The law is on your side. At Wedemark Keith, it's more to us. It's personal.
A simpler mortgage is right around the corner. Avoid extra fees with TVFCU Mortgage Savings.
TVFCU, a place for all of us.